It's a hair and braids. What if we put it in 2 braids and then we wrapped it around and then we gave them the flowers sticking together and then what if we did this?
May I have another drink, please?
Yes, you may. And he goes over.
Put your hands up, it's better!
No. Sarah, you're going to Constitution, saving throw. Yes, you. I'm gonna fight you.
He's sort of you guys know who I am, right?
Yeah. Goggles.
You're Dr.
Robot.
Dr. Robot.
What do you do?
Take a moment to try to stop laughing.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing with the other one.
Why not? It worked again.
Hating on Batman.
And I don't hate Batman, for the record. I hate the fandom of Batman.
Oh, cool. Okay,
That's the
that's
issue.
way more people.
It is. It's a
Dang.
lot of, like, actual human beings.
Were you gonna?
You need to rub this crap off your neck and not smell like me. Or Wolf at all. Just start rubbing his neck and just getting like...
I am fairly
urine.
certain it doesn't matter what I smell like at this point.
To a feline, you have wolf's piss on you.
I'm just gonna point at my feline eyes.
I have some time.
You've just tuned in. We had the brilliant idea while we were fishing at the Dark Moon Festival.
Oh, jeez.
To do a dungeon with fishing poles equipped. Because why not? And so we drank all of the alcohol in our bags, and we equipped our fishing poles and our aquatic pets, and we went to do a dungeon.
I feel like I need to put it up. So this was the end of our epic tale. What holds for next week as the heroes set sail? We may find more family, we may find where things start. All we know is to follow our heart. So our heroes set forth to pillage and to wander in the magical continent of wonder. We have one more question. I hope to not blunder. The question for you, dear friends. Do you wonder? Thank you, guys. Indigo Connect. Hi, everybody. Hello, happy Friday. Gosh, TGIN. I'm so happy that you guys could join us here on Indigo Chameleon for the very first episode of Never! Continuing our trend here on Indigo Chameleon of taking beloved stories from childhood and wrecking them as we make them our Dungeons & Dragons playground. Or improving them. Wrecking and improving. Both simultaneous. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight and hanging out with us. We've got a few announcements before we get started. We have lots of things going on tonight, including a dice giveaway. You guys are the best. Look at you. Our lovely, amazing sponsor for Indigo Chameleon Critical Dice, which is the home of the Endless Dice Bag. It's a dice subscription service. I love it. It's kind of like Netflix, and where you just kind of you pay $8 a month, and they send you a brand new, unique set of dice. This week's dice was a very interesting set. It's called the Advantage dice, and it came with 2 D20s, one black, one white. So we're doing that tonight. Don't forget, so the keyword for tonight's contest, you need to be over 18. You need to live in the continental United States. You're going to type this word in one time to the chat and one time only. That word is tink. T-I-N-K. You're going to type that word just one time to the chat, and we will be doing a drawing at the very end of the show tonight. So stay tuned with us tonight as we travel through Neverland. A couple of different shows coming up on Sunday, depending on the Wi-Fi and the internet, as Indigo and I are going to be trying this remotely. We're going to be playing this little game called like Startups, where it's a card game. It's a lot like snake oil, and we're going to be trying to create different companies. And then as soon as we come back, Hillary's going to play, or she'll murder us. So Monday night is going to be dark on Indigo Chameleon, but we encourage you to go and check out any one of our sister streams and see some stuff out there. There's lots of good games going on. Tuesday is going to be an episode of Wonder. You're going to want to tune in for that. I'm going to put these guys through the ringer a little bit as they've all leveled up, and I want to see how they handle combat. So tune into that as we test out our brand new map cam. Wednesday night, there's nothing going on here, but Indigo and I can be found on the Plastered Dragon doing Wicked. It's their urban D&D 5e that takes place in modern day Boston. So tune in for that. This coming Thursday, we're going to be doing D&D 101, where we take a bunch of noobs and we teach them how to play. So if you have friends that live in the Central Florida area that are like, how are you D&D? Send them our way. Have them come and join the Discord, and they can test out. Or if you're a player that's only played like one particular role, and I've been like, I always wanted to try a magic user, hit us up on Discord as well. We'll be doing a recruitment post, and you'll be able to go through. I was gonna do my Art Good Friend tutorial, but instead I had an idea set in Fairly. So this is going to be a fairy tale adventure with a little twist on it, D&D style. So tune in for that.
Don't make a third party go to Art. Don't do it.
Art is the best of us. He's the best of us.
D&D
And Friday we go back to episode 2 of Neverland. Also, don't forget, we have a shop now. It's amazing. And I'm so sad I didn't get my shirt, but somebody did get their shirt. The first person to sport good karma on their shirt. Look at that.
This is a man's.
We have a man shirt. It's not a boy shirt.
It is a man's shirt.
So thank you so much, Hillary, for rocking some karma. The next time you see Indigo and I, we should have our shirts and my water bottle. Ooh. It's filled with whiskey. I'll never tell. Except I just did. So so please check out the shop and get what you want. This month we have discounted everything. So everything's a few bucks off, and after this month things will go into. But it's a thank you to all of you that have helped us do all the charity work that we've done, all this stuff for the that we're going to continue to do for the Trevor Project and all those great things. So thank you. There's always a spot at our table for you.
And you.
So.
And you.
I think that's it for announcements. So let's begin. Tonight's episode of Neverland. All children, except one, grow up. They soon know that they will grow up, and the way Wendy knew was this. One day when she was 2 years old, she was playing in the garden, and she plucked what she thought was another flower out of the ground, a thistle, and she went with it to her mother. She says, I suppose she must have looked rather delighted, for Mrs. Darling put her hand to her heart and she cried, "Oh, why can't you remain like this forever?" Welcome to a world where imagination breathes and flows through the veins of all who live there. The plants, the animals, the air itself carries with it a sense of creation, of life and death, of rebirth. You can be whoever you want to be in Neverland. And for some that means never growing old. For some that means being the caregiver, the hero, the bard they were always meant to be. This is a place where dreams come true and nightmares take form. My cast, my crew, my fellow storytellers, you will find adventure here. You will find the best of yourselves right here at these tables. You will find escape with me, and you will never grow old. This is Neverland. This is your home. this is the place you spent the best years of your life. Or it was. Each of you are as varied and unique as one would come to expect from a place that is home to pirates and fairies and mermaids and other unique guests. So, this is where you find yourselves. The world of Neverland is what we know of from TV and books and things of that sort. All of the traditional things that you imagine. Fairies and mermaids and other creatures that you have yet to encounter that may have lived below the surface or above it. All of this was here, and it was a society based on children growing and having these adventures, and evil pirates and people that cared for the earth and all of the varied animals that live here until something happened. Something bad happened. A sickness came in to Neverland. We don't know what it was, and different people called it different things. Some of the caregivers of the earth called it a plague or a sickness. Some of the children of Neverland called it the tired. Because that's what it was. It was the plants growing tired. The animals spent too much time with it would grow tired, and people, even if they spent too much time around this sickness, would grow tired, and sometimes they wouldn't wake up. So when this hit, brother, sister, enemy, friend, all of that was forgotten as Neverland itself became a sinking ship. It became a death barge. And for all of you who viewed this place as a fountain of life, as a beacon of never growing old, to see it die must have been heartbreaking for each of you, and varied in different ways. So as this place sank, what tends to happen, happens. What made people good was accented. Those who sought medicine and sought to heal, that became accented as they frantically sought to heal more and fix more and set out for cures. Those whose job was to protect became overburdened and overtaxed as they spent their life protecting. Even those who never saw themselves as heroes, when all was lost and everything was fading, found parts of themselves awakening even in the sight of death itself. As the island began to fall in the last moments, a passage was opened. A portal, a way out. Back to a different world, a world of mothers and fathers, taxes and jobs and cars, but it had to beat the alternative, right? So as this portal opened, and some of you tried to make it through, others of you, the majority of you at this table, didn't. Each of you had your reasons. Some of you did it to save someone. Some of you did it to save all. Regardless of your reasons, regardless of how you got to where you are today, the island fell. And then she woke up. She woke up. And things started coming back. A simple barbarian opened a door that could not be closed. And Neverland became whole. And as it became whole, different things started coming back to life. The plants, the animals, the beings, the tribe that once inhabited this island were the first to realize what had happened. And even though they were unable to trace any sign of the sickness or the tired, they maintained their post of protecting the island, of protecting the people, and protecting the balance between life and death itself. For there is a balance even in Neverland. 4 of you wake up in a room. Nell, Quartz, Thistle. I'm trying to think if you're here. Give me a d20, Desmond. This will be the first roll.
16.
Okay, you're in the room as well. You are littles, so as you four come to consciousness, you start becoming aware of your sensations. The last thing you remembered were the last moments you spent on the island. However, wherever they were, whatever you were doing, that's the last thing you remember, and as quickly as it happens, you open your eyes as if you had had a bad dream and you find yourself here. You were in a small cell. You are in an even smaller cage located in the upper right-hand corner of the cell. There's no windows leading outside of this room. The four of you sort of come to your senses and wake up. There are iron bars sort of stretched out with a traditional cage door that seems to be locked. If you'd like to give me perception checks based on your surroundings, and I'll let you know what else you see.
15.
15.
7.
10.
It's hard. It's hard. You're just waking up and you're a little groggy. You notice that the other occupants in this room, there are some trays of food that look a little mildewed and pushed towards where you all are, but they look to be stacked up as well. You got a 15? You got the 15. You got the higher 15. You'll notice that your cage has been designed specifically for someone of your kind.
I don't like that.
And you don't like that.
No.
So heroes, this is where you find yourselves at the moment. What are you going to do?
The window is facing to outside.
There looks like what appeared to be a window was there, but whatever it was used before, it looks like it's been filled from the other side.
Okay, so there's no peeking. Are there keyholes or any way to peek out?
Yeah, give me an investigation
herself?
check as this young girl. What does she look like?
She looks to be about, although in Neverland you never quite know, she looks to be about 9. She's got very short, very curly hair that kind of stands out like this. It's kind of brown and bits of gold in it. She's got bright green eyes, tanned skin. Yes, and ragged looking. She's ragged looking.
The small girl in the corner leaps up and almost like jumps, I imagine, onto her legs like this and starts looking around and immediately starts like darting her eyes and like searching the door for a keyhole and starts like frantically looking around. Give me an investigation check, Thistle, as you start looking for anything.
12 minus 1, 11.
Yeah, you see enough. You kind of bring your hand around. Your arms are small, and you're able to feel that there is a keyhole for this. You look around, and there's different cells that you can see sort of out and about from the area. The light is dim in here. It's hard to tell what time of day it is outside because wherever you are, it's dark enough that you're kind of barely lit with torches that seem to travel the hallway around, never in the cell with you, but on the outside.
I want to take one of my arrows.
Okay.
And try and pick my lock.
Okay, what does Nell look like?
Nell is 4 inches tall. She's got olive green skin tone with cornflower blue hair and bright blue sapphire eyes. She has underdeveloped wings, so she cannot fly very well, but she's feisty.
Okay, so Nell, do you have any sort of proficiency with like thieves' schools or anything like that? Do you have anything? No, you're just gonna be like, I hate your lock. Okay, I don't know what I would have you make here. Yeah, give me a straight up D20 and add your intelligence.
Oh, that's gonna be 20, not that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So Nell, I think you take the arrow and like you guys just watch as this little pixie like boom and like brings the arrow around and starts like twisting it around like I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. And the bar, the little door, like all of a sudden after like 10 minutes of work, everybody's just sort of getting their bearings, like comes open.
I got this.
You can do that with the bigger lock now. I can try.
So Quartz pipes up. What does Quartz look like?
Quartz currently looks like a taller human woman besides the kind of like fin kind of looking ears. She has some pink scales that litter over her skin in random spots, and she has long pink hair.
All of you are native to Wonderland, so I would assume that all of you recognize her as a mermaid. Yeah, but just out of water, a fish out of water.
Huh. Yep.
I got a 16.
Okay, for doing what?
Doing the same thing with
The bigger log.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like, hi.
Is that clear?
Okay.
Okay.
How do you do this? Do you just go fly right out of the bars, or do you stick a hand out and do what you did before? Like
yeah,
you would
same
have
thing
to.
that I did before.
Okay. You take your little tiny hand, and you realize that if you were to stick it out, you're not going to be able to. So you need to fly out of the bars and go into the lock. You take off running, or take off flying a little bit, like hovering as you do that little thing, and then you get to the bars, and then there is almost the sound of a bug zapper. As right as you cross the threshold, go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw.
No. Oh, that's cocked.
That's a 13.
Nell, you.
Oh no.
You are going to take 2 points of damage, and you feel this sort of jolt as a little tiny arcane sigils that seem to light up on the bars all around you. The larger bars sort of go off, and you kind of hit the ground.
That wasn't a good idea.
Are you okay? Do you need help, or?
I mean, maybe eventually. I'm just gonna lay here for a little bit.
Okay, you lay there then.
Okay,
Oh goodness. So we're like in a cell.
You are in a cell.
Okay. By chance, is the ground swaying like we're on like a boat or something?
Give me an investigation check. I will say you get this at advantage. You're a little used to the swaying of the water and things of that sort.
Yeah, where are my skills? There they are. Investigation. 17?
Yeah, you know what? You take a second and you sort of sit there and you're like, oh, stupid legs, and you just sort of lay on your back on the and sure enough, there is a really subtle slight. It doesn't feel like the boat is going very fast.
But we're on a boat.
You're on a boat. Yeah. I know. I tried to do my best to keep this straight. Des, what are you doing during all this?
Pirates.
So you said there's cell window and then like the bar
Window seems to be sort of blocked up. You don't know if it's dirt or something along those lines, but what once was there is piled in with enough rocks and stuff like that. Almost a rudimentary cement that seems to be whatever sort of window was in the room has been blocked off.
I also know that we're on a boat. I informed them.
Yeah, the Quartz sort of pipes up. Hey, we're on a boat.
We're on a boat.
All right. And we have all of our inventory stuff, right?
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing.
Because I checked it out.
You check for this, and your stuff is still on you. You're and it's weird to take prisoners and not have them on you. Like you would imagine that swords, if any of you had weapons or rudimentary armor and things of that sort, that they would be stripped from you.
Cool. So seeing as though my axe is there, I'm gonna tentatively approach the window and I'm gonna try and buck it open.
Yeah, I'm all about this. Give me a strength check as you guys watch. What does Des look like?
Des, she looks really, really eerie. She's around 5'8", 9. She has very angular features, and her hair is dark. Her eyes are gray, and her skin, it looks like it doesn't have any life to it. It's like a brownish, palish color. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You
recognize her immediately, I think, as one of the members of the tribe. One of the members of the group of individuals here that has been here for as long as, you know.
Do tribe and mermaids have a good relationship? We fall asleep.
Give me a straight up charisma check.
Oh, I'm great at that. But actually,
you should actually.
I only have this one. 8.
Yeah, the relationship's not great. I feel like while the tribe was more responsible for sort of maintaining balance and order, you guys were a little too chaotic for them a little bit, like hunting for fun rather than hunting for food, or drowning people because it's a Monday. Like, you're like the worst Garfield. So the relationship is a little strained. That may have been why she's been so quiet and hasn't spoken to you. Give me a strength check.
It was a 12.
Okay, so Desmond, you take the axe and you sort of like, are you swinging it in, or are you sort of getting it to a spot and then?
You know how you can like use a hammer to kind of like remove a nail?
Yeah.
Trying to kind of like buck it and remove
There's a loud noise as Des like sort of takes this axe and sort of shoves it in, and with almost like a precision, like she's studying the area, shoves this axe in, and that's when you hear the loud bang that doesn't come from the window where she was, but it seems to come from down the hallway. As Des bangs on the wall, there is a.
I'm gonna fly back up to my cage and get back in.
Good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. Okay, that's what I'm doing.
But not lock. But it won't lock.
A gentleman comes walking down the hallway. He is. He's got a white shirt that's sort of stained, and he's missing his left arm. In his right hand, it takes a little bit of a ritual, like a spell. You had to recast it. He takes his right hand, and he's dragging a chain with him. And behind the chain is this shambling form that seems to be shuffling in the ground and not really aware of the surroundings. It's like banging into walls and things like that. And the figure comes over here, and he sort of looks at all of you, and he says, "I think he's finally awake."
Good morning.
What?
Pixie.
Butthead.
I think I'm gonna enjoy this. I decided I didn't want to clean up your mess. And we'd already dealt with the many of you. So, the captain gave me permission to bring back one of our brethren. Enjoy.
And he will go towards the door, take a knife out of his side, cut open his hand, and wince a little bit, and shove the hand on the door. As he shoves his hand on the door sort of swings open a little bit, and he pushes this shambling form with the cloth mask over its head. As the form comes into the room, he yanks back on the lead, and the mask flies up, and before you is a man wearing black, tattered pants. What does he look like?
So Cal is he's a skeleton. So pretty much what you would think if you saw like any kind of like NPC kind of skeleton. He's still got the ivory bones. My guess is got a little bit of damage to him, so probably a little more grayer on the sides. But no, I would say probably no like decaying flesh. You get as close to a perfect skeleton as you can get.
Are there lots of these in Under? Have we seen these before?
Okay, so in Neverland, you have never, ever seen a moving skeleton before. None of you have. And the fact that this is being brought into the room, I would think you know what a skeleton is, but a walking, moving skeleton has not been anything that anybody is familiar with. And he shoves him into the room, and he goes, "I'll be back to clean up the mess.
I'm pulling out my crossbow.
Eat up, brother." And he slams the door behind him and walks down the hall. Slam.
Crossbow is out.
I'm gonna look.
Axe, crossbow.
I'm gonna like watch, make sure he actually leaves.
Yeah, he's gone.
I'd be like, I don't like that guy either. It's okay.
You're a skeleton.
And you're a mermaid. So now that we have introductions out.
Why did he say that you were gonna like make a mess?
I don't know where he got the whole thing. Like, I'm gonna eat you guys anyway. Where is it gonna go? Nowhere. It's gonna go back on the floor. I'm not hungry anyway. It's fine.
Okay, 2 questions.
Sure.
First of all, how do we know we can trust you?
I haven't attacked you yet, have I? And
Yeah.
you have your weapons.
I don't. I'm
You're
second
in a cage.
gate. Well, okay.
You're in a cage.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm
And
gonna
second
push the door
question?
open and fly out.
How? What? Okay. Second question. Redo. What are you?
Skeleton? What are you?
I'm a girl.
And now we're come full circle. I don't.
But like, how are you like this?
You know, that's a great question. And as soon as I have an answer, I'll let you know.
There are more of you, aren't there?
Huh?
He said there were more of you.
I don't. From what I know, I'm the only one.
Hang on, wait. You said you knew that guy.
In passing.
Oh.
Give me percentile dice.
Oh boy.
These will be your percentile dice of the day.
Oh boy. Please don't do me wrong. 33.
Yeah. The reason you know that guy, and it's weird because she's like, yeah, you said you knew that guy. And you're like, yeah, I don't know. Oh, yeah. Thomas and you were actually very, very good friends.
Okay.
And you and Thomas used to have races where the two of you would climb up to the top of the crow's nest. And the last one to get there would have to buy drinks that night.
Okay.
And this was a common thing for the two of you.
Okay.
You used to grease the ropes on his side so that when you were racing, he was like, I just can't seem to get the, like, and every single time he'd be like, I don't know how are you good at this? You're like, it's just natural skill. And that's how you remember it.
So I can
douche. Got it.
No. Opportunist. Would you want to have to work harder if you didn't have to? Exactly.
I've never worked hard.
Okay, tell you what.
Sure.
You've been out there.
Yeah.
We have not.
I also had a bag over my head.
Okay, you help us get off this boat. We'll know we can trust you.
Cool. Sounds good enough to me. I'm just a Halloween decoration with these guys.
Halloween?
Yeah.
Plenty of time passes. Like I would say that, like, unless you guys have things that you're going to do in the areas you're looking to make out, time passes where everybody just sort of sits there and it's like, so where are you from? Like, you know, and it turns into.
Did she get the window open?
She managed to get a rock that sort of tumbled down, but there are still plenty of rocks in there. Do we continue on our?
Does anybody else have any other things that might be easier than a very fragilely looking axe?
Well, I have a couple ideas. I thought that if we need to explore the ship, I have an idea for that. I can get something out of here to go explore the ship. If that's a
I can
possibility.
thunderclap through these boulders.
Hey, can we double check that is the Twitch stream still going? Does anybody have access to that? And we're not hosting something else?
Okay. Still.
Okay, cool.
I don't know if that'll work. How big is this cell?
The cell is about, I want to say, let's say 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 50. About, 50 feet. Like, I'm not, like, it's a good chunk of change, about the size of this room a little bit, so that each of you could kind of split up to your sides and quarters, except for that window, which is on the back wall.
And there's just like rocks in front of this window?
Yeah.
So, but we can see through the peephole. There's a lock thing, so we can see outside. Can I get any visual on anything outside of this room? Like, I can see through the bars.
You can see through the bars. You can see. Give me perception checks as you start looking around at the different cells and trying to keep an eye on stuff.
That is a 14.
18. You get as close to the bars as you can without crossing the threshold and stuff like that. 17. 20 perception. Yeah. You guys start looking around and you get the idea of, hey, let's look through the bars. You guys aren't seeing anybody else in the cells. Even if you spread out to the far winds and you, hey, like you start calling out, you're seeing if anybody will answer, but nobody says anything. What'd you get in perception?
I got a 12.
12. So you're trying your best. You're seeing through. Cal. You go over and you look and you're kind of looking directly across the way at the cell and you're like, this is weird. You're looking and then you come back and then your head comes back and it's almost like out of the glimpse of your eye, like out of the corner of your eye, you go, hey, does anybody see the sparkly thing?
Sparkle? Anybody?
I got a 17. Do I see the sparkle thing?
I got 18.
Okay, now that he says it, it's this weird thing like out of the periph, like where you're lit by torchlight, but as you look at the torches and like sort of drift your head to the side, yeah, sometimes like right in a certain spot when the light's not touching it, like there's a sparkle. But then the flame kind of comes back. It's like how fire crackles and light moves into a spot.
Mm-hmm.
When the light's not touching that spot, there's like a sparkle there. But as soon as the light touches it, it's gone.
You need to get out of this cage first.
Don't touch it.
Here's my plan. This should be great. He expects me to eat you guys. So, no, hear me out. If he was to hear screaming and all of a sudden you guys are over, he's going to open the door. Then we rush the guy.
But there's nowhere for us to hide. For him to think that we're dead.
If we're on
You
a
lay
boat,
on the
then
floor.
we're in the middle of the ocean.
We can't start,
escape into the ocean.
but we can't escape unless we get out of the cell.
You technically can't escape into the
I
ocean either
technically can't.
because you are a freshwater mermaid.
I'm a saltwater mermaid.
Are you saltwater?
Yeah.
Okay, then you can
Just
escape
mermaid
into the
saltwater.
ocean.
Then you
Yeah.
can escape into the ocean.
I can absolutely come into the ocean and be like, bye.
I'm going to be, while all this discussion is going on, I'm going to be working on finding familiar because it takes an hour to cast.
Sure.
And that way, if by the end of the hour, I'm going to work
Where are you
on-
manifesting this familiar?
Okay, so my idea is I want to get it out of the room, but it can pop into interdimensional space and then pop out within 30 feet of me.
Okay.
So
What do you summon?
So I've been debating that for like a while now. I'm going to summon a rat because that way it can can not be seen super well, but it can also climb up ropes and things to be able to see over the edge of the boat and see where we are and what's going on.
You pull, you take Thistle and watch as Thistle starts pulling out these like random things and tracing a little chalk circle into the ground, and she's like whispering into her palm and whispering little things and sort of throwing them into the. And it takes a little bit of time, but at the manifestation of the ritual, she has her hands concentrated on this small spot, and she goes like almost like she's throwing a ball like this. As the spell completes, and outside of the cell is a tiny little rat.
He's okay, that's Scritch.
Ooh. I like that.
Scritch sort of like stands up on two legs and does a little like
Hey, Scritch, go check out the boat. See what you can find. And so I'm gonna go.
If Scritch could say something, he would say something like,
well, I can
specify.
communicate with him
Yes, he'd be like,
So I'm
he's
telling
like,
him, okay, so what I want him to do is I want him to go through the boat. I want him to investigate, find out like who's on the boat.
start here.
Yeah, start where we are.
Bite Thomas, get his blood, take off ward on door.
Okay, are you gonna look through his eyes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and I want him going to the edge of the boat to see if we're near land or anything.
Scritch goes to the end of the cells, away from the stairs leading up. And as you look through Scritch's eyes, these lantern lights have shut off. And where the lantern lights have shut off near the end of the boat, there is, you can see those sparkles defined. It's almost like a wavy line of sparkles. That seems to lead down the path of cells opposite you guys. And it's almost like written in script, and stuff like that, but it's not, it's hard to distinguish. It's almost like it's leading to the cell directly across from yours. But once again, those lights down there are off, and so he looks around, he doesn't see anything, so you send him back up towards the stairs leading away from.
Yes, I
all
want
of it.
to get him out in open air so that he can see if we're near
He's
land.
on a bit of a
so he can
locked
see
door
nobody.
in
Okay.
front of him, and this, you realize as you look around, the space was built to accommodate pixie outbreaks. So a lot of the little hidey holes and little small holes that's up, they're countering for that. So Scritch can stand here by the door and wait, and then go out as soon as somebody opens it. But
So
it's
I'm going to leave him in a holding pattern for it right now with the instruction to do that to see if he can get out.
Scritch kicks back with a little bit of food, props his feet up, and and chills.
I can make
just
a
for
very
And
loud sound.
I
Hopefully
can't
someone
read
comes down
this
here.
writing through his eyes, whatever this writing is.
So you're able to put together that you guys are here in this cell. There are cells going down this way, and there are lights set up along the way. The lights down here are off. And because the lights are off, you are able to see the sparkles written on the wall leading down this way into the cell directly across from you. But because the lights are on in front of you, you're unable to see except for that brief glimmer right across the way.
Okay, but at some point I can cast a spell and have him deliver the spell, right? I haven't had a familiar before.
Sure, yeah. You can. Scritch can deliver touch
He can
spells
deliver
as you're
touch
familiar.
based spells. Okay.
Is it just a pattern? It's not like writing. Is that right?
Not that you can see because these lights are on.
I like the bum rush idea. I can make a very loud sound. Someone will probably come down here. And when he opens the door, we can all just
I'm just gonna say this: if he doesn't hear something soon, it's gonna be more suspicious than no sound.
But if we're all still in here, he's gonna come in and see us all.
What if you guys are all laying
And then we attack him. We have his blood. We open the door.
I love this game. Let's do this.
Play dead?
Yes. And then Scritch can get out and he can find it where. This is gonna be fun.
Okay.
All right. Here's where we go. Give me a performance check. Who's making the loud noise to attract the guard?
I have thunderclap that can be heard from 100 feet away.
Perfect. Where are you aiming? Thunderclap.
Keep in mind.
I need everyone to stand 5 feet away from me.
Okay. I
Just
go
knock
ahead
my head
and
off my
place
shoulders.
myself on the wall next to the cell bars. I'm getting back in a tiny little bit of room so that I'm
And
hidden
just-
from view.
You're trying to hit from you. Give me
Towards the opening way.
Give me a stealth check as you sort of like you look for any sort of spot, any sort of time in the darkness. Yeah.
I got a 21.
Dude, you are hidden. Even for a big open spell like this, you are sort of like away. You create a burst of thunderous sound. Oh, okay. All right. Everybody's 5 feet away from her, and
I'm gonna try to cast it toward the window where the rocks are. See if I can get the rocks to move.
All right.
When I do it.
All right. How does the spell? What does the spell look like when you cast this?
It's literally just me doing one of these, and let's go.
I'm so happy that we've been doing D&D and we've never had a Kamehameha, but now we have as you watch as like.
Before she does this, I'm getting rope and playing dead right outside, like down below my cage.
Okay, you've got a little
and
bit
like, meh.
Oh,
kind
okay.
of.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
This is good. So what I need from you is, you made the stealth. Give me a performance check.
I got a 14.
A 14?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you look dead.
Yeah.
And you don't know why, but he like stayed you up like leftovers. Like he wrapped you up and stuff. Like,
I'm gonna even sell it. So after she claps it, I'm just gonna be like, ha, that was good.
look up the stats for a familiar, like a rat.
Yes.
And then I need you to make a stealth check for Scritch as he sort of hides away in the little hiding hole.
Just for clarity, it's not wrapped around me.
Yeah.
But I'm like laying on top.
It's just like, yeah, with that 14, you're like, oh yeah, I've done this before. Which is really funny because nobody's going to notice this like tiny rope except for other pixies, but it's really cute. Well, all right.
Stealth is dead.
Stealth is dead.
Yes.
Ron Perkins.
That is weird that a rat doesn't have any sort of.
I would say take this at advantage. You're a rat on a ship. If there's no other time to get your advantage on a.
I'm so glad because the first one was a 3 and the second one was an 18, and the rat has a +0 to dex.
I'd like to welcome the new rogue to the group. Scritch the rat. Roll a d6 for me.
Me a d6?
You roll a d6 for me as you direct your Kamehameha at this area.
It's a 6. Boom! I blow the side of the ship up. Come on.
This is too good. This is too good not to do. So here's what happens. You direct this Kamehameha and you're like, all right, I want him to be able to hear it. Boom. Give me probability dice as well. Roll a D100. Hey, buddy. Stay right there. I got you in just a second. Roll D100 for me as you...
Probability dice.
As you do a
45?
thunderous wave. You go, okay, we're going to make a loud noise. He's going to come in. Scritch is ready. Boom, boom. The rocks explode outward, and you guys see another ship kind of like right close to you, but it's like another ship, like a little like porthole, and you look over across the way, and inside this like other porthole, you see the portholes open, and it's just a bunch of pirates like eating food. And as you blast the window open, there's this moment where everybody sort of looks at you, and they look, and then the front door opens. And you hear the shuffling of noise again. These guys are still kind of frozen as they are about to eat their food and just sort of looking at you, and you're just sort of waving and smiling. The front door opens. Does Scritch go out?
Oh,
The
yes.
front door
Yes.
opens, and it's left open as
Yes.
this sort of
Scritch
like...
goes out.
Yeah, Scritch goes running out, and as he does, he climbs up a set of steps, and he's sort of like making his way, and you see air as the sunlight sort of hits Scritch's face, and you are surrounded by boats. Like almost as if they took all of these boats that were docked or no longer seaworthy and managed to find a way of like putting them in water, but like made the city this collection of boats that are all sort of like it's Waterworld.
It's Waterworld.
This surprise! You thought it was a Neverland. It's actually Waterworld. I love you, Kevin Costner. So that's what Scritch sees. These other pirates just don't react, and they have a conversation. Hang on. I have to treat this right. They have one of them like gets up and he like looks back at his buddies, and they're all kind of grabbing their swords.
I look at him like, don't.
Give me an intimidation check at advantage, because you're a freaking skeleton.
And I got proficiency in intimidation. Ooh, that's a 21.
21.
Put it back. You didn't see nothing.
And he looks back at the other pirates, and they're
And
all
give
like,
me your food.
Or how close are we?
he tosses you his chicken leg and sort of like closes the door. Closes the door behind him. Go ahead and have a seat. He closes the door behind him and closes the window, and everybody's like, "What was that?" And I was like, "I think I spiked the chicken." And they close that. There's the sound of footsteps as this person comes running down to the cell and sees.
I got him, Thomas.
I'm
just like eating the chicken leg like it's one of their limbs.
Oh my God.
Deception, please.
I wish I could have.
Oh, 24.
He slices open his palm again, and he places it on the
As soon as
on
I
the
do
door.
that, I take the rope and I go straight for his legs.
I actually am like right there next to him too,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna do 2 unarmed strikes.
Okay.
Yep. Down towards the legs, wrapping it up.
She trips him up. Take both of these attacks at advantage as you just go like, pow! Who's the butthead now?
Alright, so that's a 7 and a 7.
To hit? Oh, no. What were your attack rolls at
shoot.
advantage?
I'm
That's okay. Roll 2 d20s, but for each attack, but take the higher of the two.
Let's see.
I did not expect this plan and the hundreds of different. I was like, I'm gonna do this. There's a riddle.
The highest one's like a 23.
What?
The highest one's like a 23.
Yeah, you did 7 on both attacks.
Yeah,
like,
I got 7 on both.
Yeah, this dude's like, haha, boom, he's out. He's like, he falls and hits the ground as one of the members of the tribe just goes like, we got a Kamehameha and a Haruken as this dude like falls and hits the ground. As he falls and hits the ground, you see another figure at the end of this hallway that's tied up, but the soft sound of sobbing is coming from this figure in the hallway. He's wearing strange clothes, and he's tall. What does this guy look like with a hood on, Garrison?
He looks like he has a hood on.
He's got a hood on. He's got a hood on, and so like his hands are tied behind his back.
Yeah,
and he's
he
being
looks
led
like,
to a cell.
It's weird. He's wearing clothes that you wouldn't normally see here. It looks like just a brown like suit.
No.
But you guys, I don't know if you guys know what like a suit is.
No, Pirates wear suits. So.
Oh yeah, like it's kind of like what a pirate might wear, but like brown and a little like closer, not as frilly.
Yeah. But he is he is crying in this hood.
100%.
He's beside himself, arms tied behind his back, hood on, but he's at the end of the hallway, almost as if the guy was leading him in, let go of the rope to run to the door, and he's just, the guy's passed out on the ground.
I want to get about 10 feet away from him.
Okay.
I'm getting out of this cell.
You are out of the cell. Congratulations. Anybody joining her?
Absolutely.
Me too.
Yes.
Hey. Hey.
Hello?
You with the hood.
Hello?
Who are you?
What?
Who are you?
Who are
Are
you? I should ask.
Excuse me, I asked first.
Walk up and take his hood off.
Why are you crying?
I'm not crying.
So there is a moment where, boy, why are you crying? And the hood comes off, and you're like, well, I'm crying because before you is a woman with sort of like pale skin who's taken the hood off. There's a girl with like frizzy curly hair, which isn't that odd. There's a pixie who's sort of like yelling at you, like hovering above the ground. Not There is a skeleton that's kind of like impatiently tapping his foot, and a mer-lady. Go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw.
100%, yeah, that's...
This is normal.
Go ahead and,
Yeah, so that's...
did you roll?
Yeah.
Yeah, what'd you get?
20.
20?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't pee yourself.
Yeah.
You managed to maintain control of your bladder, but I think you're just in shock.
Are you okay?
Is this one of those theme parks?
What?
Like a themed park that people get kidnapped and brought to.
This is not a park, this is a boat.
Yeah, it's a ship.
A themed cruise? Jerry? Is this my birthday surprise? Cause it's not fun.
Is your name Jerry?
No.
Oh.
What's a cruise?
There is a shaking of the ship. Everybody give me dexterity saving throws as all of a sudden the ground beneath you lurches uncontrollably and you are all trying to maintain your balance.
11.
Who got above a 15? If you, this side of the table, y'all need to put the candy away. Those who got above a 15, you managed to maintain your footing and stay upright. The three of you are knocked prone as you fall down to the ground as a cannonball has rocked through back behind you guys where the other cells were, through the wall and just sort of boom, dunk, 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 like hits the cell bars, manages to get through one set and sort of hits the ground, and you hear screaming from topside, "We are under attack! The Black Death! The Black Death!"
It's time to go.
Well, we can't.
Go.
Yes. We're not prone.
Oh yeah, we're not.
So
prone.
we can't do shit.
you both get up. Everybody spends half their movement to get up, and you sort of get your bearings and stand up. And as you hear that first volley, there is. There are cannonballs that seem to be flying in from all different directions, blasting through the wooden walls and bouncing off of cells. Luckily, you guys are in the hallway, so a lot of the cannonballs are like going through the wall, hitting the cells, and sort of falling to the ground.
I'm gonna walk up this dude.
Okay.
Good or bad guy?
What?
Good guy or bad guy?
Not bad, I don't think.
I'm cutting his wrist free.
Okay.
With my dagger.
She takes out a small dagger and cuts your wrist free.
Oh my.
Let's go! And I'm running up the stairs.
just have one of those.
To the door.
Yeah, you're running towards the door.
Yeah.
Cool. Des
Following her.
takes the lead as Des sort of like looks around and you're sort of paying attention to your surroundings and you're making your way towards the door. What is everybody else doing?
Pushing him to go with us.
Yeah?
Because he's probably not going to.
How are you pushing him? Like you're just at his back? Like go forward, go
I'm
forward.
very confused as to what's happening, but I'd like to thank you all for your help. You're all very kind, unless you kidnap me, in which case this is
Move it, Buckaroo!
I'm going.
Give me a d20 and add your int.
That's a 6.
Cool. You guys are everything is awesome. You make your way to the door. Des, as you get close to the door, you realize that the door is still open. And have you shut off your connection with Scritch?
I was just gonna say Scritch is popping into pocket dimension, unless he's seen something interesting.
As soon as you get close, you get within that 30 feet, and you just go. How do you pop Scritch into another dimension?
Well, we can communicate telepathically. So
I just didn't know if you gave it a little like whistle or anything like that if you just gave a
Well,
little...
no, because I can't see. Oh, I can see him now? I thought he was still up there.
No, but you feel his presence within 30 feet and stuff like that. So yeah, you just... And he pops into a pocket dimension and he's just hanging out there. You are able to peek up the stairs a little bit, and all you see is chaos as people run on the deck, and it looks like there's shouting, there's random shouting going on back and forth for people. You see people that are sort of pulling out swords and things of that sort as sort of chaos has erupted on whatever sort of floating prison that you guys were a part of.
How long would it me to take, like, because obviously skeleton.
Yeah.
How long would it take for me to since Thomas is unconscious, to take at least his overclothes and just kind of like throw them on?
I think there's a moment where you guys are like, you're gonna make your break for it, and Cal's like, 2 seconds, and the skeleton walks back. It would probably take a minute to if you're hurriedly. These weren't like. You are wearing clothes, like you do have like rudimentary like pants and stuff like that. But if you want to
belong, in case of
maybe you're not a men's husky, so you switch over to like the medium, like and you're like you put on clothes that fit a little bit better. Give me an investigation check as you're taking these clothes off.
Skeleton, it's time to go.
Yeah, I know, but we spent 30 seconds with the new guy. We can spend 1 minute on me.
Yeah. Skeleton's like, excuse me, sir, and like scoots past you.
Investigation? Yeah, too.
Yep. Yeah,
Don't let me interrupt.
You throw on these clothes, and they look like they fit a little bit better, and with the right hat, the right lighting, like none, you could pass as live.
Amazing. All right.
Yeah.
So where are we going now?
Away, and I go up the door.
Okay. Quartz goes, we're leaving, and Quartz opens the door, flips it open, and walks onto the deck of the ship. As you walk onto the deck of the ship, you do see more chaos happening as people are starting to fight and move about.
Do I see the other side of the chaos, like not the pirates, but someone else?
Yes. Give me an investigation check. What are the rest of you doing? As she sort of shovels
I'm
past.
following in suit.
Sure.
We're all grouped together.
Yeah. Everybody sort of joins on the deck of the ship, and you form this little like cluster. As you look, everybody can give me an investigation check as you take a second to just catch your bearing.
I was a 4.
Yeah.
I was a 10.
10.
Mine's a 9. 19.
19.
Oh my God.
17.
17.
Nat 20.
Hey! First one!
Ooh.
The first one in the comp.
Oh, I gotta give you something good for this, buddy.
I'm glad we picked this guy up.
You walk up to the deck of the ship, and you're like, "What is? It's a show. This is the best dinner show ever." And like you're seeing people fighting, and you're like, "That blood looks so rich." And you're turning your face to look, and you sort of see this guy sort of like look forward towards you, and he makes eye contact with you, and time freezes. And you're stuck in this moment where you're sort of like looking at him and he's looking at you, and then his face is overimposed with the figure of a large man who's about 8 or 9 feet tall. He's got a black beard, a red hat, and long black hair, and his left hand is replaced with a hook. And for some reason, you are staring up at this monstrosity and frozen in this moment. And as you snap out of it and look, you see the ship that was in your vision is the exact same ship that seems to be firing onto this one. So whatever vision you had of this figure with a hook, this resplendent ship of gold and reds and beautiful sail, is off in the distance, and you're not sure because it's far away, but you think you see somebody on the deck looking straight at you. The rest of you the two of you are very aware that is Captain James Hook's ship.
That's firing?
That's firing. You are not. These
Nope.
two had a high enough, like, that you are very much aware that is Captain James Hook's, and you don't care. You're just being shot at, and this is not. You're wondering what's happened to the home and stuff like that. Like I mentioned, like things are happening, and like people are running up to you, and you're just randomly knocking.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Like, this figure, is it something that I see and it's scary because it's new, or is there like?
There's no other way to describe this other than there are times when like something will happen to you as a kid, and like a dog will bark or something like that, and you'll hear an identical bark, and you don't know why, but it gives you the shivers, even though you have no reason to be afraid of this. Like, you have no reason other than the fact that it's a strange place, but this chills you to your soul.
Yeah.
This 8-foot-tall monstrosity of a man, like with red, just the red jacket, the red, the red hat, and this ship in the back as you see this same ship in the background.
Are these connected ships like docked or like in the middle of the ocean?
Okay, so as you look about, you look like there's a tiny gap leading. Yeah, you just sort of walk forward, and I'd say that everybody sort of walks forward a little bit. The ships are like right next to each other.
Okay.
Like when he opened the window got blown open, it was enough that he could throw a chicken leg through. It was like a 3 or 4 foot gap. So you realize if you wanted to, you could just go, like, run.
Okay.
Over the decks of ships and make your way.
I'm asking if I see the island. I want to visit the island there.
You're looking for the island.
Yes.
As far as anything else goes, is there any land in sight, or are we just
Everybody starts looking for the island. As that happens, I need everybody to roll initiative for me, please. As the pirates have now finally realized that, hey, you guys aren't pirates. That guy's a skeleton.
Yes, I am. Look at my outfit. Of course
Well, that guy's a pirate. He's obviously wearing the outfit.
Yeah. See, that guy gets it.
If he was wearing an extra large, that wouldn't be right. But he's wearing a medium husky. Everybody, give me initiative.
6.
Actually, let's do this. 20 to 25. Yeah, you guys are level 1. 20 to 15.
16.
15.
All right, you two roll off.
Ooh, nat 20.
3.
Yeah,
Not first.
Nell's going first. Nell, Quartz, Thistle. 15 to 10.
I got 12.
13.
Okay. So, Slowpoke.
Yeah, but it's just Adler for now.
Adler for now. And then Cal.
Alright, Adler for now.
It just clicked.
And then
Do you have a weapon?
Des behind.
Okay.
Rocking some cleanup. Okay, there. Actually, let me roll for these guys. Oh boy. Okay. Let's say right there. And as far as I'm concerned, we're not going to do map cam tonight because I want you to get your sea legs, so to speak. And then after this, I want you to we'll get into it. But for right now, it is Nell's turn as these pirates all sort of look in your direction. One of them gets a little brave and starts running forward towards you.
All right, I'm going to use my longbow.
Okay. Give me an attack roll.
That would be 17.
You're at 17 hits. Roll damage.
Oh, that's going to be 8.
You guys all start to laugh as Nell pulls out this little like bow. Those of you that are able to see it, and the pirate even laughs as well, and she laughs with him. And they're both laughing, and she shoots a little arrow, and it just as it leaves the bow and as it gets closer to the pirate, it enlarges and forms a real arrow and slaps him in the shoulder, and she just goes as it slams into him, and it's this like maniacal like pixie laugh, for lack of a better term. Well done, Nell. Quartz, you're up.
I'm gonna run forward some at least 5 feet away from the rest of them.
Okay.
And do thunderclap again.
Okay. Thunder.
So everyone within 5 feet of me has to make a con save of 13.
One of them makes it. The other one fails so hard it hurts him. Yeah.
I take 1d6 of damage.
Okay, roll a d6. There is this loud move where she does the same sort of kamehameha that she did on the window, and Quartz, you feel the air pressure shift, something you didn't feel in the cell before. But as she's outside, there's this deep breath in, and there's almost like a clap of thunder as before the thunder hits itself, and there's a.
It's 1.
1. And he is pushed back a little bit, and it almost like this like weird sort of circulation in his ear. It doesn't quite hit, but it hurts. Thistle, you're up.
Okay, I am going to attack him with my crossbow.
Okay.
That is a 5 to 3 plus 4, 7.
You run forward with that crossbow and you fire off, and he just manages to sort of like dodge out of the way as he's gripping his ear. That pirate is going to run forward and take a swing at the pixie because she hurt him real bad. That is a 14 to hit.
14.
14? Yeah, that hits. So he is going to use this sort of short sword at his side and try to hit you. And he's going to do 3 points of damage as this like sword goes whack, and he almost hits you with the flat blade of it, and it's almost one of those like sit down, and you just get hit to the side.
Okay.
That is your turn, Adler.
Well, Adler's unarmed.
He is.
Completely. So he's gonna look.
Oh wait, no, I made a chart for this. Give me a D8.
Okay.
Pulling up the chart.
2.
It's a coincidence.
Hang on.
You have 2 hands now. You have 2
Okay,
fists.
Adler, you're struggling. You have no sort of supplies. You have nothing on you, and you reach into your back pocket, and you're like, yes. And the pirate runs forward, and as he runs forward, you pull out this calculator that you have in your back pocket, and it gives the other guy just a little bit of pause, but you can do anything you would like with your turn. You can do the help action where you could set someone up for advantage on their attack if you would like.
Got it. I'm running and looking for a dinghy. A little dinghy on the side of the ship.
Like off the ship?
Don't usually ships have like little like rowboats hanging off the side of them?
You're looking for like a little side boat. You're like, the new guy takes off. And the pixie's on the ground. She's like, clap if you believe, not run, clap. Like, I mean,
You're doing it wrong!
You're clapping with your knee. That's Adler's turn. Adler, give me an investigation check as you start like scoping around. Like, I gotta find a boat. So to escape from the hull.
Investigation. That would be.
Those eyebrows.
13.
13. Yeah, sure enough. It takes you a second, but as you do, you sort of look over the side and you see that there's a boat sort of tied up. The problem is the other boats are so close to it that you could jump into this boat, but you would still be stuck like next to a larger boat. Like the boats are side by side, and like right next to each other.
So it's only on the side with.
Yeah, you could run to the front where you see like open water, but you're running towards Captain.
The other way.
You're gonna go the other. You're squeezed in side by side, boat in front of you, firing cannons this way. So like the ship is like this.
Yeah.
There's a ship right next to you.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you're in a yard for broken down cars.
Okay.
And you're sort of squeezed, but there's just enough room. I'll tell you what, you have enough room that if you jumped in this little rowboat, you could squeeze in between the two ships, but you'd be heading out into open ocean.
Open ocean has less cannon fire.
All right. On this turn, you discover the boat. I will let you hop in on your next turn. Cal, see him?
How busted up is the one that she shot with the arrow that's been hit with the thunderclap?
Oh, he's bad. He's got an earache. He's got an earache and a shoulder wound. Like.
Would it be enough that if I called him a name, he'd die?
There is no way for you to know that, but knowing my luck, absolutely.
Amazingly, I'm gonna look at him and I'm gonna do vicious mockery and be like, you know what? I'm a husky, you little. Husky small. How dare you?
What is the save here?
13.
You kill my pirate.
Wisdom 13.
By making fun of him.
Kill him.
Oh, damn it. He's like, how do I? Okay, the pirate harkens back to a time in his life where everybody made fun of him for being husky, and he's like, I'm husky little, and he will like, you found that ship, Adler, and you're like, this is my way out. The guy's gonna jump off the boat head first into the ship.
And it's a 4.
Yeah, he had 1 hit point left. So, and he jumps into the ship and takes away your means of escape. But
cool.
You should give her picking on my size.
That's about you still have one sort of pirate that's made eye contact with all of you, but he has not taken any hits yet. But it is your turn.
All right. He hasn't made any hits yet.
He has not. He's basically watched as like. He's like, oh no, he was cold husky as a kid. I hope no one brings it up. And he jumps off the ship. Yeah, like.
I don't want to take my axe to him if he's not doing anything.
Live your truth.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't do anything, don't do anything.
I'm just gonna toss up and like twirl my weapon around and like brace myself and just try.
Hell
and,
yeah!
like,
Give me intimidation
them.
or performance, whiwhichever one is higher.
Shoot.
Like, and take it at advantage too, as this guy's probably on the verge of like.
Okay.
Thank God he wore his brown pants.
Not even supposed to be here today.
Wow.
I should have called
It
out.
did not work.
It didn't work.
It did not work.
Yeah, so I imagine you do this thing where you do this like cool like flips and everybody's like watching it on. You throw your axe in the air and you go to catch it, and you look up and it hits you in the head a little bit. You still manage to kind of make it look cool, but he's just like, oh, that was less intimidating than I thought it was gonna be. Yeah. So, but I love where your head's at. This is good. I like her. We go back to the top of the initiative order. No, we go back to his turn. He sees this display. There's a dude that's like looking for a way out. The pixie. Yeah, you made fun of his buddy. That is a 13 to hit.
No.
13 doesn't hit.
It does not.
He runs forward with that sword and just sort of like takes a swipe at you, and then
I catch it in my ribs.
you catch it in the ribs, and you look down, and he looks down. And yeah, it's awkward. Nell, you're up.
Me?
Yeah.
All right. Longbow to that boy. Ooh, that is going to be. That's a 24.
Yeah, that hits. Roll damage for me.
The fighter's gonna fight.
Yikes. That's gonna be 5.
5 points.
Mhm.
Yep. That another arrow sort of like clips him in the shoulder. Oh.
Yeah, that's all.
Are you gonna do anything with your bonus action? No. You can. Okay, Quartz, you're up.
Okay, so there's a guy that his sword stuck in him right now.
There is a guy that has a sword stuck in him, and Nell flew back a little bit and shot at him, but he's up close and personal.
Okay, I'm gonna grab him
Okay.
and cast Shocking Grasp.
Okay. Make an attack roll for me.
That's, oh wait, that's 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah, 11's just not going to do it. You go to reach forward toward him, and he just sort of rips his shoulder out of your grasp, and you're like, "Oh, my nails! Like,
no,
they're really pretty, but they weren't functional. Why? You have betrayed me." Thistle.
Okay, so because I'm rolling so badly, I'm gonna try this because there's just this one guy left, right?
It's one dude left who's paying attention to all of you. You imagine if you stay up here.
So if I distract this guy, can I give the next person advantage on their attack?
Yeah, this is called the help action. How do you
so
wish to
I'm
help?
going to use thaumaturgy
Okay.
to yell really, really loud at this guy. I'm gonna be
What do you yell
make
at
my
him?
voice boom.
What do you yell at him?
I'm gonna say. No, I'm gonna literally distract him. I'm gonna be like, "Look over here!" Just very like. Brah.
He's like so focused with the sword, and then you just scream out, "Look over here!" And he goes, "Look, I'm not gonna fall for that, all right? I'm a little smarter in the head than you think." Oh shit! Turns around. That's his turn. Adler.
All right, so my boat's gone.
Your boat's gone.
He was next.
Sorry, buddy.
Can I reach into another pocket?
Yeah, I will limit you to 3 pockets.
Okay. One more pocket. 3. Pocket 3.
Pocket 3?
Yeah.
I don't know how you fit this in your pocket, but it was too funny not to. You like reach in your pocket and you're calculator, and you reach into like your side pocket and you're like, oh yeah, that's right, I grabbed this in passing, and it's like it's a bobblehead. It's like a it's like a little like
Of what?
I'll say it's a no, because it's the wrong time era. I thought about this. It's just a little bobblehead, and it's just like a little dude that's like Mondays, like, and his hands are up, and his head is like shaking and stuff like that. So, but you see, the pirate is not paying attention to you.
I throw the bobblehead at his
Yeah, Adler has entered the game.
Pirate with a bobblehead.
Oh my God, how can I not make this roll at advantage just because I want to?
It would anyway, because I distracted him.
It was, yeah.
Am I
yeah.
adding anything to it?
Yeah, do you have a ranged attack on there, or like anything for? Give me your dex, buddy. What's your dex?
Okay.
And add your proficiency.
Oh, cool. Then in that case, that's a 15.
At advantage?
Yeah.
Yeah, that hits. Roll damage. What's a bobblehead damage do?
Can I just 1 or 2?
Yeah, give me a D6 at least,
D6?
as you do a D6, and
Right in the eye.
1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't kill him, but he's like, I'm not gonna fall. Oh, damn it! As the bobblehead hits, and it lands face up. It's like Monday.
I have a weird feeling
It's
Can we have the
Monday.
thing where like the bobblehead hits him and his head kind of bobbles for a second?
Yeah, and you go, and he turns to look, and you're like, oh god.
Sorry, irony. I just appreciate it.
It's Cal.
Don't
you dare.
Oh, the urge, but I'm not. How far away is she?
I'd say she's at least 10 feet away from you because she had to be in order to fire that shot out without getting disadvantage. So she's about 10 feet away from you.
Okay.
So you can walk away, but you're going to take an attack of opportunity from this guy.
Nah, I'm just gonna slap the pirate with my rapier.
All right, slap him with the rapier.
I'm gonna slap him with the rapier.
Yeah, give me an attack roll for me.
Ooh, that's an 8.
Yeah, you're sort of like cocky. You're like, ha, he hit him with a bobblehead. I can, and you swipe, and your perception is a little off, and it kind of like it goes short, and you know.
I do.
And there's a look from Adler as if to say, yeah, it's not so easy, is it?
Yeah.
Des, you've noticed him attacking the other people on the ship now. If you would like to do anything else.
Awesome. What way is the pirate facing? He's facing towards you now?
He's facing towards him. He's in melee combat with him, but right now he is the only one within melee combat. Like, you tried to grab him from the back and then missed, so you're up to the side.
wrong thing.
You added the wrong thing?
It was a 13 to hit.
Okay, next time?
Next time I know.
Next time you would hit. Okay.
Next time I made a
All right,
mistake.
so Des, what are you doing?
Okay, so I am going to approach him from the back.
Okay.
And I'm going to take my hand axe, and on the not sharp side, on the blunt side, I'm just gonna gonk him.
You're going to specify non-lethal damage. Just like, yeah.
Non-lethal damage, gonk him in the head.
Scientific term is gonk it. So, like, yeah, give me an attack roll as you sneak up on him.
Yeah, I got you. That'll be a 21.
Definitely hits. Roll some damage for me just to see if you can get to the end of his hit points. I'll have you knock him unconscious.
That'll be a 5.
4 is what he had left. There is this Des sort of sneaks up, and it's very quiet. She's managing to keep.
I'm just gonna walk straight to him
without
being unassuming or anything.
Gunk, and he falls to the ground. He falls next to the bobblehead, and it's like,
Can you fall with his arms?
with his arms like this. You guys are out of combat. As you get your bearings and try to figure out what you're going to do next, the cannons stop from the red ship. And as you all look up to see a white flag that's been raised on this ship, and a boat lowers down from the other ship and starts making its way towards you. And you can decide whether to flee or face this at intermission. We're going to take a really quick intermission, and we're going to welcome Garrison here, who had to work, and we appreciate him coming here. Garrison is our next and our last cast member for this episode of Neverland, so we'll get him caught up. We'll come back, and at the end, after intermission, don't forget we have a dice giveaway. You can type in the word TINK one time, TINK, just one time only, and then we'll do that dice giveaway at the end of the episode. So we'll see you in 10 minutes. Bye.
10 minutes.
Hi. Welcome back. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and helping us celebrate this amazing episode. Already, I had 20 things planned, and they did the 21st thing. So I'm so proud of each of these players and what they brought to the table because it makes me happy to tell stories with people that I like telling stories with. So thank you guys. So we pick back up again as this small dinghy is sort of headed towards you, and action has sort of stopped on the ship. You are out of combat, heroes. What are you going to do?
Running?
Have you conveyed anything that you saw in your little vision? Okay. I'm gonna see if I can grab or try to see if I can glimpse of if there's anything important on the boat coming toward us.
Sure. Are you standing where you are? Or you're like.
I'm gonna go to the side of the
excuse
ship.
me.
and be like,
Pardon me.
be like,
Excuse me.
Yeah,
With
I want
your
to see how
skeleton
many are
on
on the
the
ship, on the boat.
The small dinghy coming forward?
Yeah.
Okay,
I need
yeah,
to know that
the two of
information.
you would have to move to do that. Are you okay with walking forward?
Yeah, I'm just keep putting the hat down, and kind of walk up the side of the ship. If the truce flag is up, I assume everyone just kind of like frozen in panic.
Would it change your mind to know that nobody else on the ship is moving other than the two of you? All of the other pirates have stopped moving, and I want to make that clear to you before you take these steps.
Like frozen or just like standing
They
still?
have stopped moving, they have stopped running, they have stopped moving. So if you move on this ship, you will be the only movement on this ship. You can still do this. I'm not telling you you can't or shouldn't, but I want this known because I would want to know if I was a player.
Is there any way maybe I can do it stealthily, kind of like go?
No one is.
Yes, Ann. Buddy, I will support you all day, every day. So make a stealth roll for me as you.
Find out how many are on
Get
the boat.
them.
That's what I want to tell
That's
him.
what I want to do. Okay, yeah.
Just drape yourself over inside your
13?
skeleton, you know? What are you going to do?
I would say maybe because I have the clothing on, maybe I can just kind of like slowly move. I don't know.
I will say, you start looking around and you like pretend like you're tripping, like you just couldn't stop quick enough, and you sort of trip forward and sort of look forward. As you look out to this boat, you see precision. It's not something that you're used to before. You see three cloaked individuals on either side of this small boat, and standing up is a figure with a red hat that's sort of like that's coming forward, but they are rowing at the same time and back and same time, and the clothes are a little bit more pristine from your viewpoint, from where you are right now, than the rest of the clothes that are on this ship.
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
As a Triton mermaid thing, I can talk to like fish and
You
like
can.
animals in the water that can breathe water.
Absolutely.
How far would it have to be to try to see if I can talk to a fish?
I'm going to say this, and I'm not trying to be sarcastic.
Yeah.
In the water.
Yeah. All right, that's fine.
Like
Fishy,
Aquaman.
what's up? Nothing.
You're like
Just
Aquaman.
chilling.
Like Aquaman on the shore.
Hey, fish.
So, how far away?
I love you, fish. Fish. Yep. So what are we doing, gang? I need to know.
Is there any like visible captain or any like leader? Like if I'm on the ground and like get myself up, like is there any like?
Another 6 seconds go by as this ship gets closer, and you take another investigation check.
I need to see what I'm dealing with.
From where I'm standing, can I see this? So there's a rowboat coming towards our
That
ship.
has left that large
And
ship.
I can see it.
Yep.
And I can see that there's a figure on it.
No, you'd have to step forward a little bit like he did.
Okay.
Investigation.
Yep.
12. Ding.
Do we want the boat to go away from us?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
happening?
So,
Yes. Small.
what if I change the flag?
To what?
Not a white flag.
I think all the pirates in the immediate vicinity go, do we want the boat to go away from us? And they all just go like, they take a step backwards away from the group that just kicked butt on the deck of the ship. Like they moved away from you. They're like, no. Just in case we don't want to get blamed for this. Like, do we want to change the flag? We didn't say that. Like they stepped back.
I think we should leave, run, go.
Where are we gonna go?
now.
What was your
I
investigation?
can change the flag.
Everybody would notice if we went like that.
You
If one of us
you come
just-
forward and you're like looking towards the boat, and you see the person that's standing up, the one person standing up that's sort of like looking around, and you see them like come forward, and they look up and they see that they catch this glint of movement as they see your bony like self, and they hold up a hand. and the rowers stop, and they actually go backwards a little bit. And they tilt the hat so that you cannot see them.
Okay. But they have now stopped.
They've stopped.
Well, that's
When-
a little bit of time.
Have we noticed that they seem to be like upset about him in particular? That
The
she's
only
something
person that can see this boat from where it is right now
It's me, 'cause I
is
moved.
him because he moved.
So do you convey that to us
Quietly, like, hey, they stopped.
because of?
Oi!
Mm-hmm.
Which one of you is the captain?
This is coming from the cross ship.
Dude standing up in that little boat.
It appears as if you hit him with your cannonballs, so he's gone.
I'm gonna
Deception? Deception?
I'm gonna fly and cover his mouth.
Deception? As you watch as the captain like hears him say this and takes his captain's hat and just takes it off and like drops it away off to the side.
8.
He drops it on the deck of the ship. He's just like, "Yep, he's right. I died."
Can I make this? Can I like toss him my arms and be like, "Yep, he's gone."
What?
Stop it.
Stop.
No, we're not gonna get into body part removal until you're at least level 2. Sentences I never thought I would say. No body part removal until you level up.
Level 2. Write that down.
There is a chuckle from the ship, and it says, "Who said that?"
I'm covering his mouth. He can't talk.
I'm going to walk up and pick up the captain's hat
Okay.
and put it on
Okay.
and walk toward the edge of the boat.
Okay.
Right here, what would you like?
Oh. And I'm the crazy one.
He looks up confused, and he turns to look at the people on the boat, and there's some whispering, and he says, "We want the one in the suit.
What for?
He belongs to us."
He belongs to you.
Yeah.
He's on my ship, so he belongs to me.
We're not going to get into the fact that you would be the very first female pirate captain in this particular dock. We're not also going to get into the fact that you got gills. But I'm feeling magnanimous. So I'm going to give you, to the count of 10, to give us a one in this brown suit.
Or I can jump off this boat, grab some sharks, and have all your little boats taken off and you eaten with them.
Do me a favor. Walk to the edge of the boat and look down.
I'm going to do that.
From my position.
Give me an investigation check at advantage.
From my perspective, can I look down and see what she's saying?
You can walk to the edge of the ship and look down.
Where am I at? So if I've fallen, I'm
She's just walking forward. She's put on the captain's hat. She's like, "Look at me. I am the captain."
I am the captain now? Okay, go ahead.
19.
19?
Mm-hmm.
You see a flick of a tail.
Mm-hmm.
And then a second flick of the tail.
Mm-hmm.
And then a third flick of the tail.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all you see.
What type of tail?
Yeah, we got some too. What else you got?
I stand up. At that point, I stand up and take off the cap. Be like, "Hey!" And that's what I like. They stopped because they saw me. So let's.
He
let's
starts.
That would have been good information 10 minutes
starts.
Hey, it's fine.
He starts whispering into the palms of his hand.
Secrets don't make friends. We're just talking over there.
I want to look at Thistle and ask, are we doing this?
How's her tiny hands covering my mouth?
The flag?
She's honestly not. She's got a hand where you could be like, I can still talk right now, and she's like, I did it.
Henka, no. Are we attacking or not?
I'm not the leader. I mean, we need a council. We need a group to decide these things. These things need to be decided as group.
We don't have
time.
You can walk to the front.
I think I'm gonna start walking towards the front.
Okay. There's a pause.
Just let me know when I see him.
You see him. Adler.
He knows you?
You know you don't belong here. Right?
Right.
It's a bad dream, Adler.
Yes.
So we can bring you back.
Usually I bring myself back.
That's true. But things are a little different, Adler. Is this really the crowd you want to be running with?
Not at the moment, no.
All right. So let's say this, Adler. How about you jump off this boat, take a little swim over to ours, and we'll chalk this up to a bad dream. You will wake up tomorrow in your bed. Your same boring life. Nothing new, going to the same job that you always had.
You know we set you free.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
He's trying to get home just like the rest of us.
Good, he should leave.
Do I get any like feelings or like instinct or?
Give me an insight check.
So.
Or give me a wisdom save. With her on one shoulder being like, he's just trying to go home, and her being like, then fine, leave.
No, that's not good. It's like a 5.
Even better.
Oh no.
You have that moment again. She's like, then why don't you leave? And you turn over and look at her, and you see her with her arms crossed, and she's there again, but this time she's floating in front of a portal. She's floating in front of this like circular thing, and she's yelling it at a boy dressed in all green and things of that sort. And you're looking back up at this like this boy who's taller than you, and this fairy that's yelling at him. And it's like, and the boy looks at the portal and looks over at you, and you laugh because you know he's not going to go through. You know he's not, like, because that's not what you do.
Yeah.
You stay behind because this is your home. And he looks over at you, and he looks over at the fairy, and he pats you on the head, and as you look up, he's already stepping through. And there's this feeling of confusion, of shock, and you look behind you, and it is just darkness. It is just darkness, inky black, and you feel this pain in the back of your head. It like hits, and it hits hard, and you try to shake through it, but you're not able to, and you just get down on your knees, and you start heaving. He starts dry heaving. He doesn't fall over the side, but you guys watch as Adler hits the deck and gets on his hands and knees and just like heaves and starts throwing up. Give me a wisdom save.
Sorry. That's 18.
Somebody's in pain. Somebody's hurting. The guy on the ship starts freaking out, and then all of a sudden on board the ship, he cocks his head off to the side and brings his hand back up to his ear, and he listens, and he looks back towards the ship. Give me perception checks, everybody, as everybody's up front and looking.
15.
23.
13.
20.
Not 20.
Not 20.
22.
What is it with your perception?
Shoot. 22.
Okay. The 22 and the 23, especially the nat 20.
She got a 22.
You got a 22 as well. You three, like, for some reason, you look up to that larger ship that's off in the distance, and somebody's in the crow's nest. And they are standing there, and there's like a glint of metal off in the sky, like off in the distance, almost like when somebody holds a mirror up and it's far away. It's a glint of metal off in the distance, and they kind of hold it up and it glints off. And the guy on the small ship in front of you stamps his foot and screams like he's pissed. And he looks over at you. He says, "I see you again. You're dead. Again. You hear me? Dead."
What are you gonna do that you haven't already done?
I'll finish the job. You wasted it. And the boat will turn around and start heading back towards the large ship.
Looking down the water, did the mermaids leave?
You don't see any flips of the tails.
Do we see land anywhere near us?
Yeah.
You are now at the front of the ship, and you are able to turn around and see past the large sort of like main entryway, and sure enough, right behind you guys, you see land. It looks like, if you look in the Discord, and audience, if you look in the Discord as well, I posted a picture today of the Hand of Death in Spanish, and that's where you guys are. It's this version of this almost crocodile-like head carved into the stone that's sticking out, and this large clawed hand that's out with all these ships in front of it, and that's where you guys are. You see
Does
land.
it look like a little sand dune style little island, like a Skull Rock type, or does
No,
it
looks like
connects to
it
more
looks like it connects to.
like the big island?
Yeah. Give me a history check at advantage as you're checking out this area.
This little dinghy is walking away now, or it's.
The dinghy is moving back towards the larger
I got
ship.
a 10.
10? Yeah, you know this. You know this area. Like the Hand of Death. It's on the opposite side of where like the pirates sort of held up and things like that. It's one of those sort of bastions that were on the outer edge, and you know that this is how things worked. Like the adults side of things kept to the outer edges so that they could leave on ship, and the closer you got to the center, the closer you got to the Never Tree, and the center of like nature and the things that happened here in the area. The more mermaid lagoons were sort of spread throughout. That's where the fresh water was, in terms as it got closer to inland and things like that.
I'm gonna go to what would have been the actual captain, and
Okay.
and be like, do we want to?
I don't work here.
We all saw.
Trainee.
We all saw the captain.
Trainee today.
Just.
It's
Where are we going? Give us something.
As far as I'm concerned, we're really sorry. Just tell the pixie not to turn me into anything, please.
Pixie?
Hey.
Oh God.
I think for at least giving your ship a little bit more time on the water, you should let us. Why were they in cages? Why did you have me go eat him? And, like what
They told us to gather up anybody who hadn't woken up yet on the island.
Who told you?
The
Who told you?
intimidation check.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Oh, that's cocked.
Can
Oh, and that's
You
totally
can
not
assi-
Nat.
you can assist here, but I don't think you need.
I don't need it.
Yeah, he's like
I'm proficient.
the Black Death.
Excuse me?
The Black Death. The group of pirates. The new order. They came around after everything happened on the island, and they came back. They told us that everything was back open for business.
What business?
Never. The island's alive.
What's your name?
My name? You asked me what my name is.
Yes, you did.
My name
Buckaroo.
is.
That's his name.
My name is.
Mr.
Mr.
That's
Tibbs.
my father.
My name is Throwbridge.
Do you know Captain of the Black Death? Who's the leader of that? Who is the leader of that?
I think it's
I'm not gonna. Oh no, they'll kill me faster.
You said you rounded up everyone on the island who was asleep?
Yeah, I mean, mostly we could. A lot of them woke up before we could get to them, couldn't we?
Where are they now?
And he sort of like looks over at the island and he's like, I didn't see a lot of you. But, I mean, I'm sure they're out there.
Okay, then we need to leave.
Can we take a boat? We just...
Yeah.
That's where we want to go.
Yeah. Whatever you need to get off the ship as fast as you can. Yeah. Take one of the boats. Or you could just like walk off the back of the ship and like you're right there by the beach.
Okay.
Yeah. That'd be great. That's a good idea.
I'm keeping this. I'm gonna walk off.
Okay, it was an heirloom, but I love you. No. Yeah, he let you take it, and he said, "Who's the last person to leave?"
Yeah, I would stay behind with him.
He grabs you by the shoulder and he said, we were going to get triple for you. I don't know who you pissed off.
Okay.
Freaking Losty. And he shoves you forward.
The only person who heard that is her?
Yep.
Okay.
Shoves you forward. Yep. You guys manage to make it into the water a little bit. It's a little tiny bit of a drop, and you guys can fall into the water, and you make your way over towards where the beach is. You're back on dry land. It is an odd moment for some of you because the last time you remember seeing land, it was being swallowed up, and for the first time in a long time, I imagine you rush forward at the first sight of green and just hug it like a brother, like a family, it's everywhere. As you get past the trees, the flowers are back.
Are they fully back?
They
or
are.
Is it starting to?
It is like the sickness was never here. It is like the tired was never here. And you rush forward as well, and you're seeing, and you immediately, like, something kicks into that back brain of yours, and you start gathering flowers. You're like, oh, I can use this for this, and you're like, she grabs a pouch, and you're just like, oh, I got to do this because once I get back to the group, like, they're gonna need this, and she's gonna be hungry, and she never eats her greens, and like you immediately go into like trained mode of like picking flowers and gathering, and you have a pouch next to you, and you're filling it with all the components that you would need.
Can I see like a flower that she hasn't quite yet grabbed, and I'll be like, this is good for medicine?
Immediately, it's a
Bonding.
there was a like the first inklings of like, yeah, use this. Yeah.
This is gonna hurt, and I run into the water.
The water.
The sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a scream. Give me a Constitution save, please. As your legs start dissolving into the water, and
11.
Your fin starts to take hold, and you take 2 points of psychic damage as this little sharp pain hits you in the back of the head, and it hurts, but after a while the pain subsides and you are able to regain focus, and you have your tail.
Are you still around? Sappy, like it's back.
Yeah.
I need to go.
Where?
The center of the island. We need to see who's there. We need to find.
We need to check on our bases.
Our people. I mean, we can go together, but I know you probably have people to check on, and I have people to check on, and I don't know who else has people to check on, but we have to check.
We can head inland. We can stop by camps on our way. I'm sure that you have bases over near ours because that's what happens every time. We can make sure everybody's there. We can cater to people who need it.
I imagine you're just sort of like standing back there. I was like, do you guys like checkers?
Hi, Thistle. I guess we never said her. Things happen so fast. Desbahai. Did you know Tiger Lily? Maybe we can find her.
Quartz.
Are you staying here?
There seems to be some knots. Apparently, we've decided to side with pirates now, so.
That's odd.
Probably not.
You can come with us.
I would like that. Until we find where you're supposed to be, of course. Where are you supposed to be?
You know, same answer from earlier. If I have an answer, I'll give it to you when I have it. But until then, they obviously don't like me, so I'm going to stay away from that for a little
Did
bit.
you lose your memory? That's one of my favorite games.
It's empty.
Because you're a skeleton and you have no brain.
What's your name?
Nell.
Nell. And strangely dressed one, you?
Adler.
Adler?
Yes, Adler Stanton. Yes.
Adler Stanton, yes.
You
Got
have
it.
2 names?
Yeah, yes. It's Adler Stanton.
Okay,
What's
Adler
your name?
Stanton.
Oh, now you ask my name.
I know. Okay, never mind. All right, so what were you doing?
I just turned to Nell. Like, and I don't know about the rest of you, but the pirate was right. I'm lost indeed.
Do you know who you are?
No, the pirate said it himself. He said, I'm lost.
Well, are you a pirate?
No. No.
You look like a pirate.
No, I'm not.
I turned to him. Is there any possible way that I could recognize him?
Give me an insight check.
Ooh, it'll be high without my mod. It's 19. So, you said insight?
Yeah.
That'll be 21.
I have a clue too because of what he said.
You would have a clue. 27?
21.
21. You pick up on the fact that he's you don't know how, you don't know where it happened. He is so much older now, and I don't think you would have spent one-on-one time with.
Yeah, but I could have seen him running around.
He
for
looks.
sure.
He's got no distinguishing like sort of scars, but you recognize him as. You sort of close your eyes and you do the thing that they do in Hook, where you put the hands up and it's this weird like, "Hey, how's it going?" Like you start like.
Like this.
So how about this? Your insight is so high that you recognize him as a lost boy, but you realize that he's not ready. That this could harm him.
To know.
To push it so fast. And I would say your time with people, healing people, and knowing what I know of your background, you know that this could break him. It could snap him out of it, but it also has an equal chance of breaking him.
Yeah, that's true.
You just.
Funny. You have such familiar eyes.
You have this moment where like this woman is like, you have such familiar eyes, and it's it's both comforting and unsettling.
Yeah.
She knocked someone out on the ship.
Yep.
So, where first?
People start moving off into the woods away from the beach and things of that sort. I think it's a matter of time. As it gets into later evening, some of the injuries that you sustained and the wariness of the day catches up to you.
Can I cast Healing Word on a nice little pixie?
Sure. If you'll allow it, Nell, as you're sort of flying forward.
Hey, you kicked ass. Like, that was cool.
Yeah. Cal sort of like compliments you, and he gives a little like he puts his hands
Fairy
up.
high
And, boop. And little fairy boop, and you heal for how much?
It's 1d4 plus 3, and that's 7 points.
Whoa, yeah, you're feeling way better.
I don't think I need all those.
I get back on land, correct defeats.
Yeah, it hurts again, but I'm not going to make you make another con save when they're that close. You spend a little bit of time as you start looking for familiar campgrounds and things like that. If you want to give me a survival check, please, as ever taking the lead and like sort of looking around and stuff like that. I will give I will give the two of you, the two girls on the end, advantage on this yet. We haven't come up with your background yet, and
I
so
got a nat 20.
18.
nat 20.
16.
16. This many.
This man, 20. Yeah. You're looking around, and it's too good not to. You're looking around, and you find this like amazing spot with this. Like, it looks like there's a campfire set up, or like an old campsite or something like that. And you go like, you get over to this campsite, and they're gathering wood and stuff like that. You're sort of sitting down, still reeling from the spots of the day, and you do that thing where you sit on a seat and you put your hands down.
Yeah.
And pull your hands like under the seat and then scramble off of it and flip on your back and shove your head underneath this little like inside the log, and you see like names carved into the log. Nice. And it's like Slowpoke and Nell are best friends forever. Dot. But Toodles was here first, poopy heads.
Cool.
You forgot poopy heads.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And you're like, poopy heads. And you guys are all setting up camp and stuff like that. What's everybody's passive perception?
12.
I need 12.
13.
12.
Okay.
13.
None of you, as you're setting up camp and it's getting dark and stuff like that, and setting up fire. What's your passive perception?
It was 15.
You notice, because you're used to this game. You're ready for it, because as everyone's getting up camp, you're like, I wonder if there's anybody here. And sure enough, you're looking around as they're getting wood and stuff like that. And you're like, usually it's within the count of, there he is, and a little boy comes running out of the woods.
Do I recognize him?
Give me a history check, both of you guys. You two, because you played around with the kids.
Not good.
Not good? 9?
Wait, just straight roll?
Yeah.
16.
Oh, 19.
Could I roll just on the off chance of a nat 20?
Yeah. Roll at disadvantage for me. 5?
Oh.
Yeah.
20. At disadvantage?
Oh, no, if you got this one. Speaking of Toodles.
Are you serious?
Toodles runs up.
At 19, do I know?
Yeah.
I fly straight to him and hug his neck.
He looks at you and he like starts like crying, and he's not saying anything. He's like doing the, but he hugs you, but he does this weird gentle hug where you taught him how to hug fairies, where instead of like wrapping your arms around and stuff like this, you bring your head forward and you bring your head forward, and he puts up like 2 fingers and goes like this, and you just you hug his head, and he smells like summer and boy and digging for earthworms and
Bad.
he smells so bad, and like you're just like you're savoring it, and he's like he like sees you, and then he looks over at you, and he looks back at you. And he looks back at him.
What?
And he does like the beating on the turtle shell move. And he goes over and punches you in the nuts. As you get punched in the nuts, you do this, and you like grab your nuts and like hit the ground and hit your knees, and then you're at face level with him, so he's able to instead of asking you to come down, he just punches you, and you come down, and he's like looking at you, and he pulls your ear back, and you see like this little tiny like cut on the back of his ear, and he like points, and he grabs your head, and he puts your head to his, and he holds out his hand.
Do it.
Toodles leads Slowpoke off into the Never Forest, where Slowpoke learns about some things that he has forgotten. The rest of you watch him as he goes, and there is a moment where you set up camp for the evening. You visit with each other as a group of unlikely allies sets forth into the forests of Neverland. Some of you remembering who you were, some of you forging new friendships, but all of you connected in the moment where you realize that there are way more questions left to be answered than any of you had ever thought possible. Who am I? Why are there mermaids helping the pirates? Does that mean the girls are still here? Where are my people? And who am I? And what is my purpose? But all of those questions go away as the crackle of the fire illuminates the space around you. And for the first time in a very, very long time, the stars come out. And it's a bonding moment. And it feels right. And it feels good. Because somehow feeling smaller and feeling bigger at the same time puts these problems into perspective. And there's a shared look amongst the group. And there's a shared feeling of being lost but being found. And you rest. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode. You have all leveled up. Congratulations. Welcome to level 2. Go ahead and level up your characters. Garrison, we will not have you next week, but you will be learning with Toodles a little bit of your background, and he's going to help you learn how to play a little bit better, and he's also going to outfit you with some gear, although he's going to have to supersize it a little bit. We will miss you next week, but I'm sure we will have someone to jump in as we introduce a guest star or something along those lines. But we will miss you greatly, and we can't wait for you to come back. All of that being said, we have a giveaway to do. So if you
should have come up on Twitch already.
There we go.
Icky V.
Icky V! Congratulations! Thank you so much for tuning in, Icky V. We appreciate it. We've got this special Critical Dice Advantage set. This set, I'm very happy for you and very jealous at the same time because it's really nice. But we love you very much. We will send that. Please private message myself or Indigo Chameleon. Hey guys, welcome to Neverland. Really proud of you guys. Keep going down the path you're going. Thank you, audience, for tuning in. Don't forget there's always a spot at our table for you. Go connect with people that share your nerdy passions. And, you know, we ask a question on wonder. Hey, do you wonder? And my question for you is, like, do you think we're ever going to get tired of going to Neverland?
Never.
No.
Never.
Ah.
We will see you guys next week.